think that's a lot. It's an area that's really untapped in what we do. So we get somebody, okay, yes, you're rehabilitated, but you're deconditioned, and then we send them back out there, and then they end up getting re-injured. So the greatest risk for injury is prior injury, and so and that's probably because we're not looking at multidimensionally from that aspect, and certainly could be a mental cognitive aspect of that as well. So maybe where some of the sports psychology aspects of things come in. Anybody else want to add anything on that? It's a broad topic, but yes, there are ways to do it. It's not necessarily easy. I think in a perfect world, we even see this in collegiate athletics. You think having accessibility to high quality coaches, high quality medical staffs, high quality sports performance and strength and conditioning coaches. There still seems to be gaps in this, surprisingly enough, and that's something I think needs to be improved upon. I think we see it better when there's higher stakes involved, like monetarily at the professional level. Probably pulls that together a little bit more tightly. But I think you need to have representation of and appreciation of all those different specialties that come into play that really are probably valuable with that.
If this is a question about a younger athlete as parents, you almost have to be the director in some of these situations where you got to pull a little bit from the physical therapist, some from the athletic trainer, maybe bring an RD involved, if it's something like bone stress issues or whatnot. It has to be multi-people involved. And putting everyone on the same page and putting the coach on the same page too. And making everyone accountable to be a team player. There's a lot of times with coaches you won't have that cooperation. And as a parent, you need to demand that cooperation. We've had to do that with our daughters, and I don't ever hesitate saying I'm not glad that I didn't do that. So you sort of have to be a director and bring on board people who are the professionals, and they know what to do. So you got to look for those resources.
This is a follow-up here as well. I think it's being a little bit more specific, trying not to be quite so general with it. I think it depends on what the goal is and what time of the year you are at. So, not uncommon, we'll see folks that just started season, they get injured probably due to improper conditioning going into the season. Maybe it's just bad luck. But at that point, I think you got to step back and look at make sure we're not losing the forest for the trees here. And if your goal is to make the postseason, to compete for some sort of championship or whatnot, does it make sense to try to blow through that issue when it's very beginning portion of the season, or maybe even in the off season? Again, I think there's appropriate recovery needs that need to go on. The body, is injured because it's probably trying to tell you something as well. So, good opportunity to take that message, address that need, and make sure you're really fully ready to go when you ultimately have to be fully ready to go as well. So, you can see people getting pushed back in too soon and finding themselves back on injury reserve right away. So, any other thoughts on that? Anything else that we could add to help with that answer at all? And then 3 questions here, a little bit more specifically for strength. How many times a week should a runner do strength training, and how many days a week should I run? And we have, do you have any recommendations for a book, workout DVD program that can be done at home to help prevent injury, increase flexibility, and strength? And then finally, is just dance a good workout for swimmers? And I don't know if we were talking about the performing arts dance, or if that's a currently
Or
Keynote.
a-
So
I had to inform them that there's a game called Just Dance.
variability within the individual potentially as well, depending on what their needs are. But from a general standpoint, that's how I would answer that question from the strength aspect. As far as how many days a week should I run, again, it's probably going back to that developmental stage. So not necessarily chronologically, but physiologically where you're at. What has your history been? And what specific to what your event is too. I mean, I think that's certainly going to matter. You think about specificity. So that's probably a little bit tough to answer that question from my perspective. Again, that probably involves some conversation with the coach as well, discussing the plan that's in place. So. Next, do you have any recommendations for a book, workout DVD program that can be done at home? Well, a lot of material that if folks want to connect up at the end and go in the breakout and look at some strength movements for runners, I can say I got a lot of that information from a physical therapist, Jay Sherry, and he's really one of the leading performance folks for running, whether we're talking about physical therapy or, again, kind of more on the performance and strength coaching end of it. As far as swimmers, we have a contingent of swimmers here. I know Bridge has tried to make that connect. I think they're joined with a group called Exosense, but USA Swimming is commenting with a lot of swimmers that they're familiar with Bridge, and it tries to bring home that science to the individual through online programming. And they do have some pre-participation testing they do to try to establish the baseline. So I think they're heading on the right track with that. If it's not practical to access somebody in person to do that, whether it's a accessibility issue or a cost issue or a time issue, I think that's reasonable. I'm not sure if there's many other sports. I guess Bridge does do it for other sports too. So that's interesting. I know there are other online sort of programmings. And that's actually what Amy and I do is online strength and fitness, performance programming and whatnot. So are there options out there? Yes. As far as generally how to maybe find specific books and DVDs, the internet has vast options, but beware, obviously, because all information is good information. But I would try to look towards reputable sources. I mean, people that have had history in working with higher caliber programs within the sport might be good references. Have film stuff maybe offline, posted online from them. Yeah, I mean, going into specificity, talking about phases. So one of Amy's slides talked about stability and mobility. If you're a younger athlete, probably you really need to lay down the foundation first before really trying to worry about getting strong and powerful. Just can you control your body? Can you own positions? Can you show the ability to stabilize and move from one position to another effectively? Certainly in some of those pubescent years when that body's changing. So looking specific to the time frame certainly is sensible. But I guess that kind of ties into where I was going with the gentleman from the Yankees. But so anyways, the fellow they brought in, he specializes with baseball players. Has had a lot of success with some very high-profile pitchers, but really does it from a movement science standpoint. And I think that's where a lot of the direction I just become more and more fond of is specificity. Things don't necessarily carry over as well as you might think that they would carry over. Hence, again, movement science and movement performance training and breaking things down. As far as some of these strength programs, like we're familiar with the Paramount swimmers have gone on to do like CrossFit as far as their conditioning program, and that doesn't really necessarily match up. I mean, you are getting stronger, but you're getting stronger in ways that enhance your performance in water with those movements, muscles and freezes. So in those patterns. So not only thinking about, are my glutes strong, but are they strong in the manner in which I need to use them? Am I kicking, running? What am I doing with those? Do I have that neuromuscular connection of move to get that message to muscle back out for that performance? So that's my answer. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Barb Dorisco. I just retired after, June 7th of 2019, have the date, after working 38 years in the Hermitage School District and 17 as the athletic director. I was also a head coach track and field for 29 years. Three very interesting different questions here. First one is, what are your thoughts on transgender athletes competing against other women in individual sport events? It's not really for me to share whether I agree or disagree on that, but as a coach and an athletic director, I'm always a rule supporter and a rule follower. And for those of you who don't know, there's three different kind of governing bodies that I go to when there are issues like this. First one is the National Federation for High School, and they oversee all the athletic thoughts for the entire nation. And on their website, there's several articles on this, but one of the main things that they share on this is they push it on to the states, and it's up to each state to kind of create its policies. Some states can require surgery and hormones before they can compete as the gender that they wish to be at, or other states require that whatever your gender is on your birth certificate, that's what you have to be. So then, when you go to the states, for those of you that aren't aware, in each school district in the state of Pennsylvania, the principal is the director of athletics. He or she is the person that actually makes the decision for all of your athletic events. Myself, my title was a supervisor of athletics and activities, or the director of athletics, or the athletic director is the designee to that person. So in the state of Pennsylvania, on the PIAA website, the decision of the principal as to the student's gender that's accepted by the PIAA is the gender in which that student athlete will compete in. So when you have a concern at your school, you should go to your principal, and the principal, based on probably all the knowledge that he or she gets, will then place that athlete as a male or a female, and then that argues the gender that athlete is permitted to participate in. So there, like I said, a couple years ago when we were at our state AD's conference, it was of course a very hot topic, especially at that time there was a transgender sport, I think, in one of the field hockeys or whatever. So it was a big topic. And I know that there's a local school in this area that has then, from the state, created their own policy. And I know it was a very hot topic and a very sticky subject, but I know that I supported, like the locker room issues and the restroom issues and stuff. And so it is, like I said, a hot topic, but there are three groups, your school district, your state, and then the National Federation that are guiding all of us to make the right decisions. So hopefully that helps all of you. The next one, and I'll give you a background as an AD and a coach. This one is, how do you suggest approaching a coach that has shown that he does not see the individual and promotes inappropriate, dangerous weight loss management? And what if the school doesn't want to act on it? I'm a little old school. I've been around in athletics since the 70s. And first of all, as an AD, I would always share with all of our coaches and our parents to not text and to not email, but to actually physically call a coach and ask for a meeting face-to-face. concern that that parent has weighs way more than anything you're going to get from a text or an email. And so I would suggest first to go and call your coach and ask for a meeting to share your concern about your daughter. If you don't feel that he or she is getting what you're saying, then the hierarchy in our school district is you go to the AD next. And I've had many parents who have gone to a coach and not gotten what they wanted and come to me and sat with me. And so then I am the one who then will go to that coach to share the concerns. We've had parent AD meetings where we've brought everybody together when there's a concern. Another person that we've also brought in is our certified athletic trainer. And so if there's weight loss concerns or weight loss management, I've even gone in as an AD with our athletic trainer, with the coach, into a practice and have done lessons on weight management, nutrition, to be able to make sure that they see, as Amy has said, that we're all on the same page for the health of that athlete. So I would, definitely start with a personal meeting with the coach, and if that doesn't work, go to your AD. Have your AD bring in the athletic trainer so that they're clued on that there's something wrong, and try to make it a whole group effort that you're working to make that situation better. The school doesn't act on it, and the hierarchy after the AD, if a parent doesn't get what they want, the next person is the principal, and then the next person is the superintendent. I luckily have never had an issue in that realm where I've ever had to go beyond myself, the athletic trainer, and the coach. So hopefully I would just start out really just sitting down and having a sincere one-on-one talk with your coach and say, I'm a parent, I live with my daughter how many hours a day, and this is what I'm seeing, and these are my concerns. And hopefully that coach has a heart that will kind of connect with you. I'm a big eye reader, and when you're looking into the eyes of a parent, you can tell how some things really, really mean to them, and hopefully that can get you a good start. And then the last one, this is a great one, and I'm going to bring it in as a parent also. It says, best advice from your experience to parents of young athletes as mom and dad, not as a coach or a medical professional, etc. I would say the best advice to any athletes, whatever, how old you are in here, is to be multi-sport athletes and try as many things as early as you can. As an AD, I work with K through 12 in our school district, and so I can see that there are some, not all, kids, especially it seems in soccer and basketball, that want to say that's the only thing I'm going to do starting when they're age 5. And some of these kids are great when they are young. And then by the time they get to like 8th and 9th grade, they absolutely hate the sport and don't ever play it. And all the kids who are having fun playing all the different sports end up rising to the top by the time they're in high school and end up being the stars who were people that were just one of the team on many different things in their early years. So one of the things that I saw when I first became AD, I was lucky that I was an athlete at Hickory and a coach at Hickory, so I knew a lot of the background of it. But one of the first things I started 17 years ago, which I feel is one of the best things that made a huge change in how Hickory sports elevated themselves, is we started a triathlete program in the high school. And we give an award out at the end of every year for any 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade student athlete who participates in a fall sport, a winter sport, and a spring sport in the same school year. And people thought it was crazy because that's when specialization was hitting hard, and like they said, oh, you're not going to get a lot of people. Well, we also put a grade limit on it, but we have about 70 athletes per year who are multi-sport athletes in 3, lots more in 2. But what I tried to do was to show that, like, it's not just the training, because we promote triathletes because you're getting a different kind of training in each sport. It's like you're cross-training. But also, you are learning to work with different coaches, some strong, some not. You're learning to be friends and respect different athletes in your school. And the biggest one that I learned from seeing our triathletes is that sometimes it's good that you're not the best athlete on your team. You may may be a star on one team, and you may be the 6th or 7th man on another sport, and you may be the bottom of the barrel in another. But for you to be able to view how everybody feels on your team in those different categories strengthens your team as a whole. And that was the best thing that we saw, is how our athletes were starting to respect each other, and then all of our team's numbers started to build, because then they saw how everybody worked out, and how some sports, like everybody says, my sport's the hardest. But until you actually try some of these sports, like swimming, like cross country, like, you don't realize how hard these are. And I think it really started to grow respect across the board. And so I would say to try to start that down as early as you can. In our junior high, we let our kids participate in as many sports, even in one season, as possible. I require all of our coaches to be able to work together. So in the fall, sometimes we have a girls soccer player who's playing on the girls basketball team, who is also cheering for the football team as a 7th or 8th grader. And that sounds like craziness, but as long as the coaches can work out all the schedules, and we let the kids kind of experiment and be a part of that, it again then gets our numbers going up into the 9th grade. And then the last part of that, another part of advice as a parent, is my two children, my husband and I were both high school and college basketball players. I was a state athlete in track and field. My husband was a good baseball player. And I have two children, a male and a female. And when they were young, we never knew, but they were in sports because mom and dad were in sports. And we just thought they liked the sports. Until our daughter one day, after the 7th grade basketball season, came to us as a daughter and said, Mom and Dad, is it okay that I don't play basketball anymore? And we looked at her and we're like, certainly, like, we never really required you to do that. And here from, as they say, the mouth of babes, our daughter said, well, the only reason why I did that is I thought you wanted us to play the same sports you did. And of course, we never did, and we felt bad as parents that, geez, they saw all of what we had done and thought that they should follow in our footsteps, when that was the furthest thing from our mind, because we wanted them just to be themselves. And so they ended up, not finishing off on any of the sports, ended up loving soccer, completely a sport we never played, and went into the arts and did all kind of fun stuff. So as parents also of young athletes, listen to your children, and if they want to try a sport that maybe you're not comfortable with, let them give it a try, because you just never know what might be the one that really kind of rings true to them. So that's my experience.
I'll just piggyback to that question. As a doctor, obviously everybody in here is here because they're an athlete of some sort. I cannot tell you how many young people under the age of 10, if I ask them what activities they're in, the answer is 0. If parents don't get their kids involved when they're young, they're not going to get involved. They're not going to know what soccer is. They're not going to know what basketball is. I'm not saying your kid has to be in the sport constantly, but parents have to take the step and get them involved in something, even if it's playing in the backyard. I can't tell you how many kids don't know how to ride a bike by the age of 8 because their parents have never tried. So part of it is just showing them sports and offering it to them and seeing where it goes. So my two questions are, one, is having unpredictable headaches something that is normal for a 14-year-old? My answer to that is probably not. It's probably not normal. Unpredictable headaches, is that 1 a month? That's not a big deal. Is it 4 or 5 times a week? But just randomly, there's probably something going on there. Are we drinking enough water? Do we need glasses? Do we need blue light glasses? Are we eating, the right foods? Do we have enough B vitamins in us? There's hundreds of things that it could be. So those are my answers to probably not normal. Fine, do something about that, like see your doctor. My next question is more information regarding DEXA scans. I clarified with Amy and Chad that their daughter who had the DEXA scan, she had a medical problem, and that's what prompted it. Mostly for physicians, we do not do DEXA scans until you're 65 years old, or unless there's a medical issue. So if you're getting stress fractures, if you're breaking bones, those are reasons typically, if you're not gaining weight, that potentially a doctor is going to order a DEXA scan. Most insurances won't pay for a DEXA scan unless you have a medical reason. So scores that physicians look at. There's the normal T-score, which is what we use for folks 65 and above, which is based off of people 30 and above. It's an average of what their bone health is. For an athlete who's 16 or 20, you have to look at a different score called a Z-score. So the first thing you have to do is make sure that the physician is telling you the right score that they're looking at. Otherwise, it doesn't help your bones. It's not about you. It could be about someone who's 30 and you're 16. If your DEXA scan shows osteoporosis or shows osteopenia, you're not getting enough calcium. So it goes into the whole Rett syndrome of potentially you don't have enough estrogen, you're not eating enough. There's a whole bunch of